Good morning, Pittsburgh. Welcome to a very special Pitt to the Point. Live from state-of-the-art Pitt Studios, I'm Lily Cohen.
And I'm Anna Park. Thank you for joining us this morning. As you can see, there's 3 of us at the anchor desk instead of our usual 2 anchors.
That's because today's show is our way to honor our seniors and all that they've accomplished during their time at the University of Pittsburgh. I'm Megan O'Connell, and for the record, each of us at the anchor desk is a senior.
If you're not familiar with this show, Pitt to the Point is your 1-hour news magazine show that covers everything at the University of Pittsburgh to its regional campuses.
To the City of Pittsburgh, as well as national and international news. We'll be covering everything from entertainment, politics, and sports.
This past year, we added a new segment called Crossing Over at Pitt, which showcases the unique courses created by the collaboration of different departments and schools at the University of Pittsburgh.
We were also honored to have our fabulous college and high school broadcast partners this past year: Montour High School, Lancaster Catholic High School, and Riverside High School.
Last year, Pitt to the Point received 3 Mid-Atlantic nominations. Thanks to our incredible classmates in this class, we hope to add plenty more to that total this year.
It has truly been an honor to bring you this show the past 12 weeks. Today's show is going to highlight many of the amazing features, interviews, and stories we've aired on this past year's Pitt to the Point.
And you can also see today's broadcast and the past 12-week shows on our Pitt to the Point website. It's a great way to keep updated on all things Pittsburgh, all the way to the point.
The Tree of Life Synagogue begins reconstruction 5 years after the anti-Semitic attack, with it expected to begin construction this summer and be completed in about 2.5 years.
To keep the memory alive of those lost alive and to shed light on the atrocities that the worshippers faced, the redesign will include a memorial to the victims.
We are joined today by architect Carla Swickerath, who is a partner at Studio Libeskind and the designer of the rebuild. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Great to be with you guys.
Oh, thank you. You as well. Could you please share some of your architectural background?
Sure. I actually studied English and art history as an undergraduate. I grew up in Florida. And then my father was an architect, so I think it may be genetic. But he was an inspirational person who was really noble and creative. And I think I eventually found my way to architecture and went to the University of Michigan for graduate school in architecture. So a circuitous path.
What was your role in designing for the new Tree of Life Synagogue?
I'm a partner in the office, so I'm the partner in charge of this project from beginning to end. So it's been a great honor, really, of course, to contribute to a project like this, but to get to know the people in the community and really learn a lot about Pittsburgh, which is a great city.
I agree. What was the most challenging aspect of this redesign?
Well, that's a good question. I think the most challenging aspect of a project like this is always how to rise to the level of the ambition of the project, and of course, honor those whose lives were lost, which is, a big undertaking.
And in your opinion, what is the significance of preserving part of the building, and how are you guys planning to do so?
Well, it's unusual to do a project like this on the site of a tragedy. So I think always recognizing that site is sacred, and also making sure we're not just erasing history. You want to balance kind of a memory of the past and inscribe that into the future by creating kind of a balance between the old and the new. So we're preserving the sanctuary, the kind of sanctuary there on the corner of Shady and Wilkins, and repurposing it in the overall redevelopment. So I think it's very important for everyone to remember this site and what happened here.
And you have some experience with this before, working with the World Trade Center. How do you think these past projects helped you with the redesigning of the Tree of Life Synagogue?
Well, I think it's always kind of an honor, and it's very humbling to take on projects of such importance. And I think we learned a lot during the World Trade Center master plan process. And I think, it's obviously a different scale and every project is unique, but you bring that understanding. I think that the design process in one way is actually healing. and going through that process with the community and gathering everybody to kind of imagine the future as part of the healing process, which is pretty inspiring.
Oh, yeah. And community involvement must have been a very crucial aspect considering the history of this building. How did you include input from community members?
Well, before we even picked up a pencil, actually, Danielle and I did listening sessions for many different members, from family members and survivors to the congregation to the community. So it's been really inscribed in the process from the very beginning.
Wow. Well, that's great. Is there anything else you would like to add about the design process? For example, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I think one thing for us that was a real inspiration for the design was not just the enormity of the tragedy, but it was the incredible response from the community in Pittsburgh. And I think that outpouring of support in the community really inspired us and said, let's capture this as part of the spirit. And then, really this idea that there's a path of light, bringing light back into the darkness of this site was really inspired by the response from the community itself. We're reminded that we're in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood there in Squirrel Hill, and looking for the helpers, as you guys probably know, that really was an inspiration for the entire design.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing the redesign in person, although it will be many years ahead. And this has been architect Carla Swickerath. Thank you again.
Thank you. Great to be here.
This past February, Joe Biden visited East Palestine, Ohio,
which was more than 1 year after the train derailment that devastated the small town. With more on that, here is our political reporter, Zach Hankins. Zach?
On February 3rd, 2023, a train carrying hazardous materials derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, releasing these materials into the surrounding area, posing a risk both to the residents as well as the environment as a whole. A year later, on February 16th of 2024, President Biden came to speak to the residents of East Palestine. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend this event. However, our very own Natalie Silberman was live in East Palestine to cover this event.
President Joe Biden will be in East Palestine, Ohio today, over a year after the train derailment that devastated this small town. Even a year later, many residents feel that not enough has been done to protect them from the pollution that has contaminated the air. This has been particularly evident in President Joe Biden's absence from ever visiting the site of the derailment. He has received intense scrutiny for this since it happened last February. Over a year later, the 81-year-old will now make his way here, expected to land at Pittsburgh International at 2:25 p.m. today. He will then travel to East Palestine, where he will receive an operational briefing around 4:20 before his official start time at 4:45. He will then return to Pittsburgh International at 7:35 p.m. tonight, landing back in Dover, Delaware at 8:45. Biden was invited to East Palestine by Mayor Trent Conway, as well as other community leaders. He is expected to discuss how the Biden administration has worked with local officials and is continuing to do so to help the residents get back on track after the derailment. The EPA has sent out many statements since the derailment happened a year ago. According to the EPA, normal operations of the wastewater treatment plant resumed 2 weeks ago after the plant was temporarily shut down due to maintenance, worker safety, operational adjustments. Winterization of the on-site hazardous wastewater treatment system is complete. Since the derailment last February, the EPA has sent out numerous statements like this one. Last year, when a North Fork Southern train carrying thousands of hazardous chemicals derailed, ruptured, and caught fire here in East Palestine, Ohio, residents were forced to evacuate, as 3 days later, officials sent off an explosion to help prevent one, resulting in a massive black cloud that blanketed the small town and forced residents to evacuate. On February 8th, community members were given the all clear to return to their homes. Still, even a year later, locals remain unconvinced that their homes are free of pollutants, saying they have received conflicting information about the contamination resulting from the crash. Here in East Palestine, we're about an hour from Pittsburgh. As you can see on the map, the derailment happened just that way west of where I'm standing. President Joe Biden will discuss this when he travels to East Palestine today, when he meets with the residents to talk about the impact of the train derailment. He will discuss federal support for the community and hold Norfolk Southern accountable, as he's been doing for the past year. Right now, I'm standing in the area and I'm right by the trains. I'm Natalie Silverman, reporting live from East Palestine, Ohio. Donnie, Aaron, back to you in the studio.
Later that day, President Biden spoke to the residents of East Palestine and assured them that the U.S. government would do its part to help out the region. From Pitt to the Point, I'm political reporter Zach Hankins. Lily, Megan, Anna.
Zach. Norfolk Southern has agreed to pay $600 million in a class action lawsuit settlement. It remains to be seen what this means for East Palestine residents. On Tuesday, March 26th, about 250 people gathered in the William Pitt Union for the debate between Pitt College Democrats and Pitt College Republicans.
The event was hosted by Bridge Pittsburgh, a political club that aims to change the way people approach disagreement.
This past Tuesday, about 250 people gathered for the Pitt College Democrats versus Republicans debate. The event was hosted by Bridge Pittsburgh, a local political club. During the event, there were a lot of topics discussed, including the economy, foreign policy, affirmative action, and more.
Pitt extends enrollment date to May 15th. The University of Pittsburgh is among other colleges and universities that are extending their commitment deadline for incoming freshmen. This comes just months after the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, experienced glitches and delays with their applications. Reproductive Rights and Justice Convention. A reproductive justice convention was organized and hosted by Pitt's Gender, Sexuality, and Women's Studies program. Current President Ryan Young will hand down his role as SGB President to current Vice President Sarah Mayer. Sonny Overton, Maddie McCann-Colvard, and Ashley White also won board member positions.
It's just important to be able to have a say in what is going on within our own student government, because the student government is in charge of a lot of things. I know with allocations for club funding, and I know specifically with voting this time, there's two different questions that are about how they do allocations and increasing the student activity fee and stuff like that. And so I think that especially when you're involved with activities in Pitt, it's just important to be able to have a say in what is going on in general.
These members will take office fall of 2024.
Later on, we'll hear about the retirement of broadcasting legend Bill Hillgrove.
It's sad to see him go, but I wonder what the future will hold for the new voice of Pittsburgh Steelers calling games for the black and gold. From witnessing so many electric moments and conveying them to Steelers fans,
to his lasting impact on sports broadcasting and the city of Pittsburgh, stay tuned to hear more about this story.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Reeve, and my favorite memory from Pitt is honestly just meeting all of my friends here. We've been friends since freshman year all the way to senior year, and we really just do everything together. We watch The Bachelor together, we go out on weekends, we go to Hems, everything in between, and I honestly just can't think of my time here at Pitt without them.
My favorite memory at Pitt is when the William Pitt Union building had a Taco Bell in its basement. I used to go there probably once a day to get the beefy 5-layer burrito.
Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh. We're here in the Cathedral of Learning. Imagine being here in the Commons Room or Nationality Room.
What do you think?
So what do you think? Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt. Proud member of the ACC.
One of my favorite Pitt memories is from last year. My friends and I were walking home and suddenly one of my friends was hit with an egg. Someone from inside of a car threw it. They drove away pretty fast, so we didn't know who the culprit was, but it hit her and cracked on the ground, and it was one of the funniest things and most random things in the entire world, and we still think about it a lot. Welcome back. Looking to dive deeper into stories that caught your attention today? Then look no further than our website.
Visit pittothepoint.com for clips from today's show and in-depth articles covering the topics that pique your interest.
And stay connected with us on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, all under the handle Pitt to the Point.
Follow us for updates, behind-the-scenes footage, and more from our talented crew. Don't miss out. Join the conversation online and stay informed with Pitt to the Point. Hey Megan, did you hear about the new EMT program, the Freedom House here in Pittsburgh?
I haven't yet, but our medical reporter, Haley Ryman, has more on the story. What do you have for us, Haley?
Thank you. The first EMS service was founded right here in Pittsburgh in the Hill District in 1967. We had a chance to speak with John Moon, former member of Freedom House Ambulance Service, about a new training program.
The City of Pittsburgh just announced a new EMS program, tributed to the original EMS service, which started in the Hill District of Pittsburgh. Freedom House Ambulance Service was the blueprint for EMT programs around the U.S. The staff was made up of mostly African-American men, one of which we had the pleasure of interviewing. Mr. John Moon told us his story as one of the first EMTs and the first ever to perform a tracheal intubation outside of a hospital. We also were able to hear his thoughts about Pittsburgh's new EMT program and what the tribute means to him.
There's no EMS system until Freedom House created one. That's one of my proudest accomplishments is that I was part of an organization that created a system that's emulated across the country, if not the world. No one thinks about where this vision came from. We take EMS for granted. We can't envision a world where there was no EMS system. And that's what makes this EMT training program all that much more precious, because it's going back into the community and investing into the community in which you serve. It's trying to serve a twofold problem: the lack of diversity in Pittsburgh EMS, and it's opening up an opportunity for individuals that have not had an opportunity to be exposed to this as a career path, to let them know that this is something you can do.
This new program is set for 12 weeks and is open to anyone with a high school diploma or GED and a driver's license.
This new EMS training program pays tribute to the original program from 1967 and the incredible legacy that remains today. For Pitt to the Point, I'm medical reporter Haley Ryman. Lily, Megan?
Thanks, Haley. I loved learning more about this new program, shining light and honoring the nation's first paramedics. This year, Pitt to the Point introduced a new segment called Crossing Over at Pitt, where we highlight some of the amazing work the Pitt community members are doing.
These members of our community are working together to combine their skills to help transform their industries for the better.
This year, the University of Pittsburgh's designated theme is Discourse and Dialogue.
We do a lot of research that is interdisciplinary, so a bunch of computer scientists and a bunch of folk from medicine collaborating together toward the broader aim of digitalizing the operating room.
This lab has an emphasis on electric power. It involves material science, electrical engineering. It even involves a little bit of physics and mechanical engineering.
We're going to be putting these elements in permanent magnet machines for the vehicles that we're going to be using in the future.
Undergraduates are, by definition, interdisciplinary. They have majors, but they're taking classes from all over the place. Students work with each other and come up with ideas that would be really different.
Being able to learn about each other's fields has become so important as quantum computing is less of pure experimental work and is now trying to become more practical.
We are looking at residents in Homewood and getting a measure of their asthma severity and their indoor air quality, and seeing what low-cost interventions can help to reduce asthma severity in those households.
Working alongside Yasmin Gari were Lenore Thomas, her artistic advisor, and Rachel Bazanson, a physics and astronomy researcher and professor.
I'm Paloma DeBella, a senior at the University of Pittsburgh, and I worked over the summer of 2023 doing pollinator research. During this project, I did flower insect tracking, seeing how many bugs came to and from the farm, to certain species of plants.
This object is not just found on the Pittsburgh campus, it's found all through the United States. And these constellations are what pushes me to do interdisciplinary work and doing work with different departments within the university.
Join us as we journey into the highlighting one of our remarkable alums, Ron Idoko. Ron serves as the Director of Social Innovation at the David C. Frederick Honors College.
Ron's extraordinary impact within the alumni community speaks to his work, recognizing the challenges our country faces in the realm of systemic racism.
So my name is Ron Idoko. I serve as the Director of Social Innovation in the David C. Frederick Honors College, as well as the Associate Director of the Center on Race and Social Problems. And I'm also the Founding Director of the Racial Equity Consciousness Institute. So when I was an alumni, one of the things that I found so valuable was being able to travel all over the country. I really got an appreciation of just what it meant to really connect with people across all sorts of differences, and that sometimes it's our aspects of our identity that can serve as barriers to progress. And so with that understanding, I really wanted to think more about how can I become more active in cultivating environments where people could thrive and where their identities were not a barrier. One of the things that became more prominent was the issue of systemic racism, realizing that it is a significant challenge in our country. And, as the university made the commitment to being an anti-racist institution, it became clear to me that we really had to focus on building the capacity of our community members, our students, our staff, our faculty to uphold those values, and really puts people in a position to understand that racism is a solvable problem, right? If we understand the very nature of the problem that we are trying to address, and if we work collectively to really think about the world we want to live in and then build pathways towards it.
Las Vegas hosts the annual International Pizza Expo that includes 2 main competitions.
That's right, and with 5 different categories of pizza being judged, there's a spot for every pizza owner to be involved.
Steel City is ecstatic that our very own pizza shop, Slice on Broadway, placed in the top 5 for their category in the competition.
Stay tuned because later we will have our City Beat reporter with more on this.
Hey guys, my name is Donnie Blackwell. I was the anchor for Pitt to the Point, sports reporter, and producer. My favorite memories from the University of Pittsburgh would probably be the 2023 Blue and Gold Spring Game, where I got a chance to interview Aaron Donald. That was super exciting and like a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me. So I just wish you guys the best moving forward. Pitt Broadcasting has so much to offer, so good luck to all of you guys, and I wish you the best of luck.
Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh. We're here in the Cathedral of Learning, which, if you can imagine being here in the grand historic building. I'm a time when I strive for the greatness, yeah. You can't stop me now. I just wanna stop my we running up, we can't lose ya. I walk a mile in my shoes, yeah. There's nothing that I can't do, yeah. What do you think?
Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt.
Here, progress is always in progress. Proud member of the ACC.
Hi, my name is Jordan Sapp. My favorite Pitt memory is when I moved into Oakland last year. Prior to that, I was a commuter student and a transfer student. And once I moved into my off-campus house, it was the first time I felt a real sense of community and friendship here. Congratulations to everyone graduating.
We're excited to hear from a very special and successful Pittsburgh native, Bill Hillgrove, sports broadcasting legend.
Hillgrove recently retired as the play-by-play voice of the Pittsburgh Steelers after 3 decades on the job. With more on this, we turn to our city sports reporter, Michelle Spiller. Michelle?
Thanks, Megan. Our very own Sean McQuillan had the opportunity to sit down with sports broadcaster Bill Hillgrove immediately following his announcement of retirement last month. They talked about everything from his experience in the NFL to how he grew up right here in the city of Pittsburgh. Take a look.
All right, let's get right into it, shall we?
Sure.
So, first off, congratulations on an illustrious Pittsburgh Steelers commentating career. I mean, you're an idol to all of us future sports broadcasters, so thank you very much for everything you contributed to the game, and, I mean, I hope retirement suits you well, sir.
Well, I quote Chuck Noll, who said, if you're thinking about it, it's time. And, you know, when I took the job, I told Art Rooney II, I said, I have the energy to do both. And but that was 30 years ago. The energy, thanks to Mother Nature, has changed a bit. So I have to, you know, make a tough decision, but I'm sure it's the right one. You can't go from 100 miles an hour to 0. So I'm going to get down to 50 miles an hour and be content to do Pitt football and basketball.
Absolutely, Mr. Holgrove. And I wanted to ask you a few questions regarding your career. And I mean, let's start off with where it began. So your first job actually was as a disc jockey. And now 56 years later, you retire as a Dapper Dan Lifetime Achievement Award winner, a play-by-play announcer of 2 Super Bowl championships, and a PA Association of Broadcast Hall of Famer. I mean, did you ever think you would ever have anything like this ever happen to you in your illustrious career?
No, I kind of let the gentle winds push me. I always, you know, loved sports. As a matter of fact, from my home in Garfield up on top of the hill, I could see the lights at Forbes Field, and I said to myself, I'd like to be part of that someday, thinking that perhaps I could be a Major League Baseball player. Well, I wasn't the best player in my neighborhood, so how am I going to be a Major League Baseball player? And so I was able to combine that love of sports with an ability that I discovered at a young age to have, you know, some talent on this side of the microphone. And it's worked out rather well. But yeah, I was a disc jockey, and they came to me and said, have you done play-by-play? And I said, when I was a student at Duquesne University, they had an on-air station, which they don't anymore. And I had a chance to cut my teeth. I did a little bit of high school football and a lot of Duquesne basketball, which at the time used Fitzgerald Fieldhouse as the home venue. And, you know, it just, I said to the boss, yes, I've done play-by-play. And he said, good. Ed Conway will do football. You'll do basketball. And I got my sports hat on. That was 1969.
I love what you said when you brought up talent and all the history you brought up with the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, and I mean a bunch of other historic moments that happened with the Steelers. And speaking of that, we're going to take a quick look, Bill, at some of your famous calls over your illustrious career.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Hillgrove along with Myron Cope.
For the right to go to the Super Bowl. He has time and he launches a rainbow and it goes up and it's starting to come down to the end zone. And down there, it is juggled and in the end zone. Oh my! Drop! The ball hit the turf. The Steelers are headed to Phoenix.
Go. Gets the snap. He scrambles around, throws it back corner of the end zone. Santonio with a touchdown! Santonio Holmes! I don't know how he did it! Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie doesn't know how he did it.
Guys, greatness is only a few feet away from us. It's up to us to walk that mile.
The give to the right, and the bus waits. The bus drives, and the bus gets to the goal line. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Jerome Bettis! If you would say, show me what the bus is all about, I'd play that play for you. That's what the bus is all about.
Bill, I mean, those calls just almost like light a fire under you. It's so passionate, and it's unlike almost any other commentator who's ever graced the microphone when it comes to commentating a game on the gridiron. So congratulations on those famous calls, and especially the Santonio Holmes one. That's just a personal favorite.
Well, thank you very much, Sean. As a kid who grew up in Pittsburgh, I grew up rooting for these teams that, you know, I got the privilege to call. And so I think the passion comes naturally. It comes easy. There's the interview with Aaron Donald when he filled up his trophy case a few years back. And he has been good to Pitt, and what a person. I remember Kevin Colbert, the general manager at the time of the Steelers, talking about Aaron. He said, we watched his tape against Georgia Tech, and it took him like 3 or 4 plays. And then once he figured out what they were doing, he was in their backfield the rest of the game. You know, he was a pretty special player. There's my longtime partner, Dick wrote 40 years together, probably the greatest athlete that Western Pennsylvania has ever produced.
Absolutely.
And there's some acknowledgement from the Oakland Zoo and the crowd. You know, it's a good ride, and thank goodness it's not going to end. Just part of it.
Absolutely. And Bill, I'm going to ask you one last very question. So what legacy do you hope to leave behind after calling it an end on your illustrious Pittsburgh Steelers commentating career?
I want to thank the fans. Without the fans, you don't have a game. If you don't have a game, you don't have a broadcast. And so I owe it all to the fans. And fortunately, the Pitt fans will still be able to share some great moments.
Well, Bill, thank you very much for joining us today. It has been an honor being able to speak with you.
Thank you so much, Bill Hillgrove, for joining us on their show, and we really appreciate it. Congratulations on your retirement. We're so excited to see where Pittsburgh sports go in the future. From Pitt to the Point, I'm City Sports reporter Michelle Spiller. Lily, Anna, and Megan?
Thanks, Michelle.
It's always an exciting time of year when Pitt Pro Day rolls around and anticipation rises among Pitt football fans.
For more on Pitt Pro Day and exclusive interviews with Pitt prospects, let's turn it over to our Pitt sports reporter, Simon Kreisner, to hear how it went. Simon?
Yeah, Pitt recently had their pro day for the football team to showcase their talents to NFL scouts for the upcoming draft. Luckily, two of our reporters were there to see how it went. Let's take a look.
So, Aaron, it was your first time actually experiencing and covering Pro Day. So what was your experience like?
It was so much fun. I had such a great experience. I do want to go into the sports field in the future. So it was so awesome to get to interview some of the players and network there, talk to some of the individuals. So yeah, I just had a great day. But what about you? Who do you think were some of the standouts for Pro Day?
Well, I think that our tight end group actually looked really well. Malcolm Epps, like his height and his size, I'm pretty sure impressed a lot of scouts. He had a lot of great catches. And my most outstanding player that I would say surprised me was seeing Phil Jerkovic. Earlier in the season, a lot of people were kind of confused on if he was going to stay at the quarterback position or move on to tight end. And Phil actually competed on Pro Day as a tight end, and he had actually a really great performance. He had a lot of great catches, and, you know, on the media, they've been talking about if Phil will get a chance to be a tight end in the NFL on the next level. And I definitely think that he deserves that chance. He had a great day, and it was just nice to see him back in the Pitt colors and around those guys.
I absolutely agree. For the Pitt side of Pro Day, it was a huge event for the players who have declared for the NFL draft. They were able to showcase their talents in front of NFL scouts and coaches, hoping to earn a spot on a professional football roster. I was able to speak with AJ Woods, Malcolm Epps, and Matt Gonsalves about their thoughts on Pro Day and their own journey through the draft process.
Hi, I'm Erin Clark, Pitt sports reporter, reporting here at Rooney Sports Complex, covering Pitt's Pro Day. Pitt's Pro Day at the Rooney Sports Complex started off in the weight room as players showcased their strength on the bench press. The group then moved over to the indoor practice field where players performed drills such as high jump, broad jump, the 40-yard dash, short shuttle, and 3-cone, showcasing their speed and versatility. The day finished up with position-specific drills. I also got the chance to speak to some of the players about their experience at Pro Day and how they feel they showcased their talents to the NFL scouts.
So AJ, you were actually not invited to the NFL Combine, but you had an incredible performance here today. What do you think you proved to the scouts and coaches here today?
I think I proved that I'm worth the draft pick. Obviously, I came out here and was able to put together a really good day, showcase all my skill set and technique that I've worked on for the past 2 months.
And we know it was more of a difficult year for the team, quarterback struggles. You were on that offensive side as a tight end. So, you know, coming in today, what did you want to prove despite those struggles?
Well, just because we had struggles didn't mean we didn't have playmakers like Bud Means and Sebo Fletcher. Don't get it mistaken. We did have playmakers on the team.
You're seen as a leader of this team. How does that change going from, being in that role to being a rookie in the NFL? How does that change for you?
For sure. I mean, it changes a lot, coming from somebody who, is supposed to lead a team to having to, kind of observe and know your role.
And how would you describe what NFL teams are getting if they decide to draft you?
Yeah, I would say NFL teams are getting a fast, physical corner that above all else loves to play football and compete.
What are NFL coaches getting if they decide to draft you as a tight end?
A good locker room guy, guy that's hungry, guy that just want to play football, a guy that's willing to do anything for the team to win.
We hope to hear the names of some of our very own Pitt Panthers called next month. And other Pitt football news, the team announced the date for the 2024 Blue and Gold Spring Football Game. It will be held April 13th at 2 p.m. in Acrisure Stadium. The game is open to fans, so make sure to check it out to catch the first real glimpse of next season's team in action. For Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt sports reporter Erin Clark. Hey Donnie, how was Pro Day from the NFL side of things?
Well, for my experience of Pro Day, I got a chance to talk with high draft prospects MJ Devonshire and Bub Means as they continue to impress the scouts from their NFL Pro Day and their combine performances. I also got a chance to speak with former Pitt player and current 49ers scout Dom DeSico and former wide receiver coach Tyquan Underwood as they came back to visit Pitt and some of their new threads.
I'm Donnie Blackwell, Pittsburgh City sports reporter, and today we are live from the South Side covering the NFL Pitt Pro Day.
With the NFL draft coming up, student athletes from all around the nation are looking for a chance to prove themselves to NFL scouts. With only Bub Means, MJ Devonshire, and Matt Gonzalez getting a second chance to impress scouts after being invited to the NFL Combine, several Pitt players only had one chance to prove themselves at Pitt Pro Day. With several Pittsburgh Steelers scouts being in attendance on Wednesday, could we possibly be seeing a reunion of former Pitt athletes joining the Pittsburgh Steelers?
What has your perspective been as from a player performing at Pro Day to being a scout?
It's hard because as a player, you work your whole life to have this opportunity to go to the NFL, and as a scout, you see it so often, so you don't realize how big of an opportunity it is for the players each time because these kids played football their whole life, and it could be coming to a close or it could be starting a new chapter. So I guess just being open-minded to where they're at in their journey.
Take us through the journey of being a transfer from a small school at Louisiana Tech, and now you're a top prospect in the NFL draft today.
A lot of hard-fought nights, a lot of hard workouts, but I'm grateful for everything that I've been through, grateful for all the coaches that I've got to experience.
Plenty of scouts and teams were impressed by your performance at the Combine. What could you say any team could expect from you?
I mean, I'm just going to show up every day, willing to work, great teammate, humble, great person.
What was your mission to prove to scouts in the Combine that you were a quality receiver?
So I just went out there and did what I do every day. It was another day at the park for me. I just went out there and showed the scouts and the teams what I could do.
How do you feel seeing a guy such as Bub Means prepare to complete his dreams, and you got to see him perform today? So what are your emotions towards him alone?
I was fortunate enough to coach him over the last two, and great leader, great work ethic, great person, and to see him finally be this close to his dream playing in the National Football League, it's unbelievable.
Can we see an upcoming Patriots workout with Bub Means coming soon?
Hey, you never know how this thing plays out. I would love for the opportunity to coach him again. We're just evaluating all the guys in this class. I know him personally, so it hits a little different. I know his mental makeup. I know who he is as a person, so I'll be able to convey that to the scouts, to the GM.
Your versatility, not only being a corner, but also a punt returner. How have many teams shown any interest in your abilities other than, being on the defensive side of the ball?
Just being able to showcase how well I can move and different things I can do with the ball in my hands and scoring touchdowns.
You are from the Aliquippa area, and there has been this major TikTok going viral about what's in the Aliquippa water.
It's just something in that Quip water.
So how does it feel to know that you are going to continue and add on to the legacy of Aliquippa athletes being in the NFL?
It's great. It's definitely something in our water. It hit different. I don't really know what it is. We can't tell you, but it's definitely something in our water.
To see where our former Panthers will end up, the NFL Draft will take place on April 25th through the 27th in Detroit, Michigan. The Steelers are on the board with pick number 20. Could we be seeing our top corner, MJ Devonshire, staying next door? As sources say, Devonshire had a pre-draft visit with the team earlier this week. With all the big moves the Steelers have been making so far in the offseason and free agency, I'm pretty sure they will be making even bigger steps to protect our newest assets in Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, and possibly making some room for our corner, MJ Devonshire.
The NFL Draft will take place from April 25th to April 27th, so be sure to stay updated on what Pitt Panthers finally get their dreams to come true. For Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt sports reporter Simon Krasner. Now let's hear from our business and tech reporter, Aditya Bhandari.
Thank you, Simon. So back in 2017, the Houston Astros were accused of cheating by stealing signs illegally through recording of the other team. After this became a scandal in 2019, former patent attorney and inventor of the PitchCom sports company, John Hankins, decided to invent a device that would be able to communicate hand signs between a pitcher and catcher without it with lowering the chances of the signs being stolen by the other team. Earlier this semester, Pitt to the Point was able to sit down with John Hankins and talk about this award-winning device, and this is what he had to say.
Hi, this is the PitchCom system. This is the receiver that players wear on their helmet, and this is the transmitter that the catcher wears, or in college, the coach uses. So I'm going to turn it on, and you'll hear it say, tell us how much battery life there is. And now to call a pitch and a location, we simply press a button.
Four-seam fastball, high middle. Change-up, high right.
And if we want to call a specialty play,
pick off second. Cutter, high right. Slider, middle left. Wheel play. Pick off third. Bunt play 2.
So that's how it works. It's super lightweight. This is only weighs 1 ounce, and this is worn on the shin guard of the catcher typically. So that's the PitchCom system in a nutshell. I was had retired from being an attorney after 28 years and decided to become a mind reader on stage. Then the sign stealing scandal happened with the Houston Astros.
Right.
I sat down and I said, some of the same principles that we use in mind reading could be used here. Where we have secret information that's passed along on stage.
Right.
So that's what we're doing, is we're passing along secret information, which is a pitch or a pitch location, to somebody who's 60 feet away.
Right. For your mentalism, do you think that the device would have turned out differently? How so?
I don't know that I would have come up with a device.
Right.
Because it was based on a device my friend had made for stage use, for controlling sound, actually. Because when we're on stage, you want to change the music. And so, but you don't want to do it in a way that looks like you're doing a magic trick. So you could like click your heels together and there's like a magnetic switch and it would cause the audio track to change from maybe spooky music to more like a lighthearted music, but it would change audio tracks. Right. And so I thought, well, if he can do that, maybe he can, have audio tracks where a catcher pushes a button and remotely controls the audio track. And that's how that came about. So if I wasn't doing magic or mind reading or mentalism, I don't know that I would have come up with it. We're in most of the major colleges now. At first, last year, they restricted us from using audio in the hats. The NCAA, in its wisdom, decided that we couldn't use audio. So we had to create a wristband.
Right.
And so with a wrist display, it's pretty cool, actually. So it's the same thing, same system. They press 2 buttons and you'll see pitch and location. Do you want to see it?
Sure, yeah.
Let me see if I got one working here. Baseball glove. And so this is a transmitter. And if you press like 1 for fastball and this, you'll see.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Doing it one way for 150 years. And now it's completely changed.
Have there been any specific ways you have thought of improving, or is there any way that it can be improved, the device in any way?
We constantly look to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking about making it smaller. We're looking about making it more powerful, longer range, even though now it goes like 800 feet, which is more than enough in a baseball stadium. We're looking at adding certain things I can't talk about, so certain features. But yeah, we have engineers on staff who look to improve.
For the people who have wanted to start their own tech companies and inventions, what advice would you give them?
Do your research. Before we did this, I did a lot of research on the ways to provide signals. But I was also a patent attorney, and I had worked, on probably 10,000 patent applications. So I had a lot of experience with how people solve things, and then how you put that into practice. That's the biggest thing. Is everybody thinks they've solved a problem, but if you really need to look and see what they need, what the customer needs. Somebody who I was connected to somebody who had been an MLB lawyer but like 8 or 9 years ago, but he still had a few contacts, and we pushed through for 9 months, and then finally got the invitation.
Pitt to the Point would like to thank John Hankins himself again for giving us time to interview him just as this kickoff to the MLB 2024 to 2025 season has begun. From Pitt to the Point, I am business and tech reporter Aditya Bandari. Lily, Megan, Anna.
Thanks, Aditya. Anna, as we dive into Pitt Greensburg's wing extravaganza, do you prefer bone-in or boneless wings?
Without a doubt, I'm choosing boneless wings every time.
It may be a hot take, but I agree, boneless wings all the way.
Stick around for more about wing extravaganza coming up from our regional campus reporter.
So my favorite Pitt memory is definitely going to be when Waka Flocka performed at Fall Fest. It was so much fun. I got to go on stage and perform with them, and it was a great time.
Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh. We're here in the Cathedral of Learning. Imagine being here in the Commons Room or Nationality Room.
What do you think?
So what do you think? Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt. Proud member of the AC.
Hey, I'm Anna Park, and my favorite Pitt memory would be Pitt in LA, which I did in the summer of 2022. And I loved meeting the professionals in the film industry and being able to take my 2 classes in Santa Monica and being able to meet a bunch of new people from Pitt in my classes and being able to take this trip through Pitt.
Hey guys, I'm Jack. I'm a senior and I'm graduating very scarily soon, but I have to say my favorite Pitt memory has got to be the football 2021 ACC championship win. To this day, I still have never seen energy like that. It was great. Yeah.
3, 2.
I don't know about you, Megan, but being from Philly, I've been missing a good slice of pizza from a good old slice shop.
Well, Lily, Pittsburgh's very own Slice on Broadway is serving up New York-style slices that are internationally acclaimed.
Our City Beat reporter, Lily Peters, has a story on the award-winning pizza. Lily?
Thanks, guys. Now, a few weekends ago, a local Pittsburgh restaurant, Slice on Broadway, won a few awards for their amazing pizza. Our very own Claire Donnellan had the opportunity to go see what the hype was all about for the pizza, see why it was award-winning, and even bring back a few slices for our anchors to try on camera.
Yes, Slice on Broadway, Pittsburgh's very own pizzeria, won 5th in the Best Cheese Slice competition at the 2024 held in Las Vegas International Pizza Expo. I had the honor of meeting with Rico Lenardi, and he told me all about his amazing pizza and the art and the science and passion that he puts in.
Each year, pizza professionals assemble in Las Vegas for the International Pizza Expo. The event includes 2 main competitions, one for pizza making and the other for pizza-related skills and physical challenges. The pizza making competition features 5 different categories: World's Best Cheese Slice, Neapolitan, Pan, Traditional, and Non-Traditional.
This year was the first year they did World's Best Cheese Slice, which is right up our alley because we sell New York style slices. Cheese slices, pepperoni slices, things like that. But this was world's best cheese slice. They went back to their pre-COVID rules to where there was rounds for championship. So the first round I placed first place, and actually a couple points higher than everybody else, which was awesome. And then I had to go to the finals, which landed me 5th place overall. So we have top 5 in the world for best cheese slice. Like I was just making a plain pizza, which we make every day here, and you know, but we were testing, you know, different temperatures of the dough, different hydration levels, what we call it, different fermentation times to get the perfect dough to compete with. And, you know, it's stuff that we do every day in our shop, but we were doing it on a, you know, real measured level. We pay attention to detail in our product, use the best ingredients that we can, you know, and still keep it at a fair price. I mean, our goal is to have a New York style slice. When we first opened, there wasn't many slice shops, and that was our goal. We always talk about creating experiences for our customers. I mean, there's a lot of pizza options in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania and the country, and you know, we are, you know, now one of the top 5 in the country, in the world. However, you know, it's still an opportunity to connect with people and give them experiences. We all have from childhood, you know, our favorite place we used to go in a memory, and that's what we want to create with our customers. Everyone has different tastes, and everyone's very defensive in Pittsburgh about their shop, and I love that. I mean, that's what makes it fun. But you know, to the point to where our focus was trying to be a New York style pizza. You know, I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh, and we say New York style yins are made.
Thank you again to Rico. It was really great to meet him. And now, Michelle and Grace, I hope you're hungry because I brought the award-winning pizza right here, and we're going to try it live in the studio.
I'm so excited.
We are enjoying it college kid style, fresh out of the fridge, really good leftovers. But honestly, there's nothing like a good cold slice of pizza.
This is so good, Claire. I don't know if you know this, but I'm from New York, actually.
Oh,
so I like to think I'm a professional when it comes to pizza, and this definitely surpassed my expectations.
Yeah, I may not be from New York, but this is a really good slice of pizza.
I really liked the cheese to sauce ratio because
Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of sauce, but this was really perfect. I think it was spot on.
You know, a lot of pizza, when you eat it cold, like it loses its flavoring. This, it's like really strong. It's very potent. You know, you can like taste it.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of trying it in person in the East
Mhm.
Liberty location for Slice on Broadway, and it was nice and fresh, and it was amazing. And the entire staff was so kind, always checking in on us and making sure we were enjoying it.
No, that's so sweet. Did you get to like go back and like watch them make the pizza and
Oh
everything?
yeah, we saw them tossing the dough, the works. It was amazing.
You should have gone in there. You should have tossed the dough up
I
in
should
there.
have asked. And I didn't want to wake up the entire Slice on Broadway crew that make us a fresh pizza at 8 a.m. So we appreciate them making this.
No, this was so
It's
sweet of them.
working. It's doing what it needs to do.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing us this pizza, Claire.
You're welcome. And what's your favorite type of pizza? There's so many different kinds, as I learned yesterday.
I really am just a cheese person. I'll do like a banana pepper every once in a while, but yeah.
Interesting choice. I'm like a Sicilian kind of person, you know. I like the square pizzas or like a grandma slice.
Well, I really enjoyed this cheese pizza. Thank you again to the Slice on Broadway gang. And if you want to go check out their pizzeria, they have several locations here in Pittsburgh.
Now, if you're hungry like me and want to know what's more on their menu, visit their website and social media pages at Slice on Broadway. From Pitt to the Point, I'm City Beat reporter Lily Peters. And speaking of yummy foods, our regional campus reporter Grace Lamberto is going to tell you all about Pitt Greensburg's Wing Extravaganza, which featured a lot of yummy wings and hot sauces. Grace?
Thanks, Lily. This season on Pitt to the Point, we got a chance to travel across the state of Pennsylvania to our University of Pittsburgh regional campuses to check out what was going on their campuses and in their communities. Wing Extravaganza was an event held at the University of Pittsburgh at Greensburg, and our very own Lily Peters got a chance to attend.
Thank you, Donnie. Now, this Wednesday, Pitt Greensburg, in honor of their Pitt Day of Giving, they hosted a Wing Extravaganza, which included events such as an unveiling of Westmoreland County's wings and a hot sauce trivia challenge for everyone to enjoy. The campus dining services made 5 homemade hot sauces for the event, and luckily I got to go and try them out. It was truly a fun time for everyone.
The Wing Extravaganza started with an unveiling of Westmoreland County's artwork of Wings for Pitt Greensburg.
The Westmoreland Cultural Trust
had contacted Pitt Greensburg. Greensburg would be a great place to include one of these installations as well. It's something that happens out here in Westmoreland County as well, where there are a couple just scattered throughout the county.
The artwork on the wings reflected Pitt Greensburg's iconic images. These images include the logo, the bridge, the clock, and the bobcat. It's safe to say these wings will become an important part of campus tradition.
Like these wings behind me, you'll be sure to love all of the wings that are inside.
I had the opportunity to try these wings and test my spice tolerance with Pitt Greensburg's 5 hot sauces. Ready or not, Honey It's Hot, Blazin' Bobcat, Notorious GBG, and Jamaican Me Hot. Trying these sauces came with Pitt Greensburg's trivia. For every question I answered wrong, I had to try an even hotter sauce than the previous one. For someone who can't handle the heat, this was not the challenge for me. Not only were the wings for the students, Pitt Greensburg included the community as well.
We're part of the community. Greensburg is in our name, University of Pittsburgh at Greensburg. So we take that very seriously. This community gives us a lot, and I believe in return we give the community a lot.
Now, I had the opportunity to bring back these hot sauces for Aaron and Donnie, and we're gonna try through today. So our first sauce is called Ready or Not, and it is a Korean barbecue style sauce. This is gonna be our mildest sauce, so you guys are in luck for the first one. Let's see what they think. Thoughts?
This one is kind of spicy, but it's good.
It's from being the most mild, it's still pretty spicy.
Well, let's move on to our next one. It's called Blazin' Bobcat, and it is a smooth traditional style buffalo sauce with a little bit of a kick.
I like that one. Yeah, this is my favorite.
Okay. And our third and final sauce is going to be our hottest sauce. And this is called Jamaican Me Hot. And it is layers of heat and flavor with chilies in the sauce.
Ooh, this
That's
tastes
pretty
like
good.
garlicky. Yeah. It's
Okay.
hot though.
Okay. So I have to ask, what is your favorite sauce?
Definitely the buffalo.
You definitely think the buffalo?
They were all really good though.
Hot sauces at 7 a.m.
Definitely spicy.
Why not? And just what is your wing preference? Are you bone in, bone out?
Definitely bone in.
Okay.
Bone in, and I would definitely take the sauce.
Definitely the buffalo.
Okay. For more information on wings across Westmoreland County, visit Pitt Greensburg's website.
A little bit jealous watching our anchors try those wing sauces. We appreciate all of the work that our regional campuses have done with us this season, and we look forward to working with them more next season. From Pitt to the Point, I'm regional campus reporter Grace Lamberto. Lily, Anna, Megan.
Grace, imagine being in high school and getting to be on our college news show. Did you do broadcasting in high school, Lily?
No, I didn't, but I wish my school had offered it. Maybe that would have helped me decide my major sooner.
Well, each week we feature an impressive high school broadcast programs at Pennsylvania high schools.
Let's check out this year's highlights from our partnership with Lancaster Catholic High School, Riverside High School, and Montour High School.
We saw the early stages of the new LCHS cafeteria.
It's like a food court. This is another area that will transform the feel of the space to be more modern and to be like a college student commons, which is what we designed it based on.
It was really cool to see how everything's going so far, and I'm really excited to see the finished product.
We are featuring students' projects in advanced woodshop classes. We have several students who are learning a craft and building custom furniture. Cabinets, tables, beds, and more, all made from hardwoods. Before students take their projects home at the end of the school year, they will be on display for a week in the library classroom during the Riverside High School Fine Arts Fair.
Here at Lancaster Catholic, Chess Club is more than just a club. It's a community of individuals who share a love for the ancient game of chess.
We'll be taking a look at the Riverside varsity baseball team. Last season, the boys were the first Woodbury team to be undefeated state champions with a record of 25-0.
What is your favorite part of the Best Buddies program?
Seeing the true relationships develop with our students and the other students in Montour High School.
Shout out to Lancaster Catholic, Riverside, and Montour High Schools for always being such a pleasure to work with. Hope we see some of you at Pitt someday.
One of my favorite things about Pitt is all of our unique clubs.
I've heard the Ballroom Dancing Club is a student favorite.
So stick around because you won't want to miss our feature on this social dance club coming up.
The last 4 years here at the University of Pittsburgh have been nothing short of incredible. And my favorite memory at Pitt would definitely be being a member of the Pitt Women's Club basketball team. This supportive network of women just became a real community to me of people that I could turn to and some of my best friends on campus. And it was really nice to be able to continue playing the sport I love with my best friends, and the experience and specifically the leadership experience I gained from holding some executive board positions within the organization are definitely going to be applicable to my future endeavors. And so I'm very thankful for the organization and for the University of Pittsburgh as a whole.
Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh. We're here in the Cathedral of Learning, which, if you can imagine being here in the grand historic building.
I'm a time when I strive for the greatness, yeah. You can't stop me now. I just wanna we running up, we can't lose you. I walk a mile in my shoes, yeah. There's nothing that I can't do, yeah.
What do you think?
Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt.
Here, progress is always in progress. Proud member of the ACC.
My favorite Pitt memory actually comes from my very first day at Pitt. I was walking back up the stairs from the eatery in Towers and fell right on my face, throwing my food everywhere, probably in front of about 100 different people. And the reason that's my favorite memory from Pitt is because it showed me that it really can only go up from there. And you know what, I got the most embarrassing thing out of the way right away. And everything was better after that point. Have a good day.
Welcome back. Looking to dive deeper into stories that caught your attention today? Then look no further than our website.
Visit pittothepoint.com for clips from today's shows and in-depth articles covering the topics that pique your interest.
And stay connected with us on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, all under the handle Pitt to the Point.
Follow us for updates, behind-the-scenes footage, and more from our talented crew. Don't miss out. Join the conversation online and stay informed with Pitt to the Point.
What's your opinion on musicals, Lily?
I love a good musical. Actually, I used to do musical theater. Gave it up because I didn't think I could sing. But as a viewer, I am there. I am so glad I got to see Pitt Stage's spring production of Spring Awakening.
Here's our entertainment reporter with the details. Risa?
Thanks, Megan. This season on Pitt to the Point, we saw so many exciting wonders at the University of Pittsburgh. From campus events to organizations, Pitt truly has it all. One of my favorite things was when we got to feature the Tony Award-winning musical, Spring Awakening, led by Pitt's Department of Theater Arts.
They announced that the show was Spring Awakening, which my friends and I just obsessed over a lot in high school, so I knew I had to audition. It wasn't a choice.
I've always loved stage management. It's what I want to do even after I graduate, and I was super excited to join the Spring Awakening team because it's such a great production, it's a great cast, it's a great crew, and I love musicals, so being backstage is so much fun for me.
Honestly, I didn't start doing theater until last semester, and I had an absolute blast with it, and so I figured I might as well throw my hat in the ring again, and I got lucky enough to be cast in this one.
I think people don't realize just how much crew there is, and all of us are working the entire time the show is running, just getting actors and set and props on stage, and then helping them when they come off stage to make sure everything is in order and set.
The process for being Adult Woman was really fun because this is like the second time I've played multiple characters in one.
We get called at a certain time, we come in, the director wants us to work on a certain scene, maybe he's got some notes as to how the character should be portrayed or anything like that. Yeah, we come in for a couple hours, we all get to hang out, run our lines and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun, honestly.
We've been working on this show, at least from the stage management perspective, since winter break. And then I am in every single rehearsal from the first read through to strike.
I'm a junior in college. Life is stressful. Sometimes I don't want to be a junior in college, so this gives me a chance to like forget about everything else going on in my life and, you know, do the thing I love and like act and perform and wear fun costumes and be on stage.
Seeing all the work that we've put in, you know, come to fruition. At the end of the day, we get to put on a show and people seem to enjoy what we do.
After seeing the musical myself during the time of the production, I can proudly say that Pitt has a wide variety of talented individuals and continues to shine through its wide range of events, activities, and organizations. We are so excited to see what new beginnings Pitt will bring to their students and faculty next season.
Thank you, Risa. Next month in Pittsburgh is the fan favorite Three River Arts Festival.
The Three Rivers Arts Festival started in 1960. I had the privilege of interviewing one of the founders, Babs Widows. She told me the whole story about how her husbands were all involved on like the board of the museum, and one of the other ones was one of the museum directors, and they were sort of like, oh, wives, go do something, do a little festival. And 60 years later, here we are. It has always been very important for the festival to be free and open to the public. They felt like it was really important for it to be at the point, which is where it was for 60 years, and called it the Three Rivers Arts Festival because everybody in the region identifies with that.
I don't know what to expect at Three Rivers Festival, but it sounds like something that the whole city gets involved with. And I think that's really, really super important. As musicians, we're kind of like the spiritual healers in a way. Through all the tough times, we try to provide music that gives people a moment to reconnect with the spirit. I'm a musician who appreciates stories of land and place. And I also love the idea of the connection of waters and where they meet. The waterways were a huge source of, how indigenous people travel. That's why the water's so important now. It means a lot to me to be invited to a festival that speaks to that.
It is a time where everybody comes together. Coming out of the pandemic, there was a great divide in the community, in the country, really, but not at the Arts Festival.
After the pandemic, one of the things that I learned is our responsibility as human beings to be able to recognize that we are souls trying to offer healing.
I really hope that people get a sense that art is for everyone. I hope it gives people a real sense of the richness of the artist community in Pittsburgh, and then also of around the country and around the globe, and sort of humanizing art and making it real to see these beautiful paintings and then the person who made them.
The festival is from May 31st to June 9th. Visit the Pittsburgh Art Trust website for more information. From Pitt to the Point, I'm your entertainment reporter, Sabrina Bunsa. Anna, Megan, Lily.
Thanks, Sabrina.
Want to learn to dance? Look no further than Pitt's very own Ballroom Dancing Club.
They accept dancers of all levels, even those with 2 left feet like Megan over there. Just kidding.
Hey, I'd like to see you try. If I weren't graduating, I would love to check it out. Let's take a look.
We are a dance club that teaches ballroom, Latin, and social dances. We believe that everybody can dance, and we're here to help everybody learn. My favorite part of the club is the community that we've built. It's very inclusive and welcoming, overall positive experience, lots of long-lasting friendships.
I like ballroom dancing because I've danced my whole life, and doing the partner style dancing is something different that I grew up doing. So it was a nice change of pace, and also it's like a life skill that I can use outside of just this club. There's a big dance community just in Pittsburgh in general, and we go social dancing a lot of the weekends with just the community. And it's also a very nice skill to have on my resume. 99% of the people who come to this club have no dance experience at all, and then they come to the club once and love it, and then come consistently every week. It's also just like a great skill to have. You can dance at weddings, you can dance at parties.
I've always loved dancing, and so when I came to Pitt and I saw there was a ballroom club, I was like, obviously I want to get involved and keep dancing and doing what I love. I think this club is very welcoming, it's very accepting. We teach things on a pretty, everyone can learn basics, and it's just really fun and a great way to get involved and do some movement.
Well, I grew up dancing. I did ballet for my whole life, and once I got to college, I still wanted to dance, but I wanted to try something new, and so we had a welcome week activity, and I just kind of showed up to that, and I've been here ever since. It's just been the best way to relax during the week. It's a lot of fun. I get to hang out with friends. I've made great friends through the club. Ballroom's been around for years, and it can seem really daunting to get into if someone's interested, because the ballroom world in general can be very high society type stuff. But really, it's just a lot of fun to dance and social dance, and being able to do that with other students is a great opportunity to be introduced to the ballroom world.
That brings us to the end of today's show, which means Anna, Megan, and I have the honor of not only anchoring this season's last episode of Pitt to the Point, but also wishing all of the graduating seniors the very best of luck and congratulations.
The past 4 years have gone by almost as fast as today's show. One thing's for sure, we cannot thank our classmates enough. We leaned on them for another year, but not only this year, but for during our entire time in college.
A special thanks to the Pitt to the Point anchors this past season, Erin Clark, Donnie Blackwell, Jordan Sapp, Charlotte Reeve, Michelle Spiller, and Grace Lamberto.
And we owe a debt of gratitude to the Pitt to the Point students who paved the way 3 years ago for this amazing show. And don't worry, Pitt to the Point will be back next spring.
Thank you for our wonderful broadcasting partners, KDKA TV.
Pitt to the Point has re-aired on CBSN TV for the past 3 years, and we are truly grateful for that opportunity.
So thank you to KDKA General Manager Chris Coutinho, Sean Hoder, Jonathan Fisher, and our superstar consultant, Caitlin Hall.
Thank you to our news directors, Melanie Judd, Michelle Spiller, Dylan Foster, and Sean McQuillan. And we couldn't do this without our incredible teaching assistant, Michelle Lichstein.
Also, the Pitt Studios staff, especially Chief Engineer Liam Sporer, Patrick O'Shea, Jason Earl, Sarah Johnson, Paul Bardo, Athletic Director Heather Like, the University of Pittsburgh's Communication Department, Director of Communications, the Pitt News advisors and staff, ASM, and our Peterson Event Center security guards who open the door for us when we arrive somewhere around 5:30 in the morning to produce the show.
We hope this special graduation episode of Pitt to the Point. Once again, I am Lily Cohen.
I'm Anna Park. Pitt to the Point is your #1 news source for all things happening at Pitt, all the way to the point.
I'm Megan O'Connell. We can't thank you enough for tuning in the past 12 weeks and this morning to Pitt to the Point.